Hi, welcome to Community Action Now. My name is Bryn Schimmel. I'm your host from Eastern Nebraska Community Action Partnership, and today is April 6th, 2022. For anyone who might not know, April is actually National Therapy Pet Month, and so really just in an excuse to get the dogs to come to the set, we wanted to recognize several places in the Bellevue, Omaha area that use therapy animals in their work. So first we have with us today Officer Ashley Myers with the Bellevue Police Department and Pawfficer Mo, and then Chaplain Jeff Kaiser with the Sarpy County Sheriff's Department and Henry the Wonderdog. So tell me just a little bit, we'll start with you, Jeff, about your background with the Sheriff's Department and what you do.
Great. So I'm the lead chaplain for the Sheriff's Office. And as a chaplain, we provide emotional and spiritual support not only to our officers, but the community. And we also have one of the unpleasant tasks of delivering death notifications. So it's a strange privilege to be there on the worst day of somebody's life just to try to help them navigate that.
Absolutely.
So I've been doing this for 11 years. And there was an incident when there were 4 young ladies out of Gretna that were killed.
Yeah.
And that's really what stirred the idea about having a therapy dog, not just for the victims, but for our officers.
Absolutely.
So anyway, I got Henry, he's our family dog first, and then talked with the sheriff, and so anyway, we completed all our training and certification last June, and then Sheriff Davis swore him in July and deputized him. So.
And he is what kind of dog?
He is a golden retriever that's being a little ornery at the moment.
Yes.
But he's 2 years old.
2, okay.
And 75 pounds of good energy.
Yes, so Henry and Mo here are very good buddies, so they're excited to see each other. And then Ashley, would you tell us about your background with the police department?
Yeah, so I've been with the Bellevue Police Department for 7 years. I've had a couple different roles while there. I've been a school resource officer, I've been road patrol, and now I'm in the Office of Professional Standards. And I am Mo's handler. We've had him for probably, just shy of a year. We got him last summer. So he brings a lot of joy to the department. He's kind of our little station mascot.
Yes.
So yeah, he's been into several schools. Yeah, we really enjoy being around people and being able to take kind of a stressful situation and turn it into a positive.
Absolutely. And now they both live with your respective families, correct?
Yes.
Full time.
Yep.
So you have them at home and at work.
Yep.
And so we were joking earlier about their training. They're very excited to see each other. But talk about what kind of training they have to go through to become therapy dogs.
Yeah, so when we got Mo, the whole therapy dog program is it's new for our department, and it's kind of new for most police departments. So we did some research, and we hired a private trainer, and he came in and worked with me. So between that and myself, we've done all of Mo's training. But it's a lot of obedience. We want to get them exposed to anything and everything. They deal with stressed out people a lot, so we just wanted to make sure that they were able to handle that and see what kind of reaction they'd get. But basically it's just exposure to anything and everything, making sure that they're polite and friendly when they meet people.
Yeah, and now they they work, I assume, at your respective offices, but they also go out. You guys do, they go out on calls with you. I've seen, Henry doing school visits. Yep. So talk about that.
You bet. So we found that there's a lot of studies that have proven that the positive effects that animals bring in helping reducing stress and anxiety.
Yeah.
So whether there's a traumatic event, a death notification, the schools with students that are having some special, needing a little special attention or special needs. So he's a rock star, and I know Mo is too. You walk into a room, we have become chop liver.
Yes.
But that's okay. It's so fun to watch faces light up as a result of seeing them come.
Absolutely. What would you say is your favorite part about being the therapy dog handler?
Well, I've been in law enforcement for almost 10 years now, And it's always kind of a mixed reaction that I get. Either people are pro law enforcement or they don't really like us. So it's really hard for those people who don't necessarily like seeing somebody in a uniform look at a golden doodle and then look at the uniform and still be mad at us.
Right,
so
yeah.
Honestly,
it's hard to be mad at these.
Yeah, it's honestly the reaction we get from people, the interaction we get from people. Kids are way more willing to come up and talk to me. So not only do they get to pet a dog, but they also get a positive interaction with the police officer.
Awesome. And what about you guys?
Yeah, it really is. I mean, the fact that I get to take my dog with me to work. I mean, come on, this is. But it's really, you know, with the news that I'm normally having to deliver to people, this is really a nice change so that, a nice change to bring some smiles, knowing that most of the time the news is pretty intense and heavy. So I can see, hey, sit, good boy. Down. Well, we're still working on a little bit of obedience here.
Yes, they're
So
still puppies.
that's right. So
And
anyway.
we put them on TV here. I know they're
Right.
internet stars,
Down
but
here, buddy. Yep, down.
there's a lot of stuff going on, so
Yeah, gets his vest all messed up here and
very official.
right. There we go.
What do you think, what are some of the challenges of being in this specific role with a therapy dog? In your job besides besides wrangling?
Right.
Wrangling.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, you know, often when we get calls for a deployment, it's not the best situations that we're getting called into. Obviously, the scene's secure, we're safe, so there's no like threat for any physical danger or anything. But like Chaplain Kaiser said, you know, we're normally giving people bad news, or we're dealing with crisis, or we're trying to help somebody through their worst day of their life. And it is hard, and we do kind of take it personally a little bit. And so it's just kind of, it's one of those things where you need to relax and remember why we're doing this, and you know, just kind of be aware of how we're doing mentally as well.
Yeah. Anything to add to that?
Yeah, no, that's really well said. You know, the challenge, I mean, the addition to being able to have therapy dogs within the various departments, it is a game changer.
Yeah.
You know, I know that to see how our officers respond, and especially when, you know what, you're dealing with some pretty gnarly stuff.
Right.
And I remember one week, there was, our investigators had a couple of suicides, the death of an infant. And when they saw me, one said, "You better have that dog with you."
Aw.
Fortunately,
Yeah.
you know, so to bring that
Yeah.
and make that available for people is just, to me, it's a game changer.
Yeah. Are there plans to expand? Are they the only therapy dogs like on staff right now? I know you mentioned there was a courthouse dog
Right.
that recently passed away, but are there more? Do you guys have more of these guys at the departments, or not quite?
We would love to expand our program. We're just getting this started out, and we're kind of feeling it out. I think there's definitely need for another one, if not two. I think the more dogs in the metro area, especially, the better. It's been really fun. A lot of people have been reaching out from across the country, trying to figure out how we did this, and you know, policy, you name it, paperwork, whatever. So I think it's starting, and we're really you know, gaining some traction. So I hope this is a very common thing in the future.
Yeah.
Absolutely, and you know, because this is really, really new ground, as Officer Myers had said, it's like, so there's a big learning curve with that.
Yeah.
And so, you know, even developing SOPs and things like that, and as people are becoming more familiar, so, you know, most people are familiar with the patrol dogs.
Sure.
Don't pet, pretty aggressive,
Right,
drugs,
right,
bad
right.
guys. And
These guys are not that.
that is hugs, not drugs. The cheese factor is really high on that, but we're not even sorry.
Not that you're not very scary, very intimidating doggies. But. So does the sheriff's department have more than one dog right now, or is it just Henry?
Henry's the only therapy dog
Okay.
that we have on staff.
Okay.
And we have 2 patrol canines.
Okay. Very cool.
So I think, you know, this is kind of, just as Officer Meyer said, this is all new ground. So as this goes on, we'll look at, we'll see what the future holds.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for being here. I know that we've been talking about doing this for a few months, so we're glad to finally get you here. These guys are out all the time doing visits and all sorts of things. So we're going to put all of their social media information up so that if you want to follow them on Facebook and Instagram, you can do that. If you want to reach out to them, you'll also have that option. But we are just so glad to have you guys here. And who doesn't? I mean, this might be the best episode yet. Who doesn't love to get to have the dogs here, We're going to take a break, and we'll be right back.
Where can you watch KPAO Community Television? The channel with all of the local shows. If you live in the Omaha area, Cox Channel 22 HD is your place. If you prefer streaming, go to kpaoTVOmaha.org. And now, if you have the Apple TV box, grab our app and watch us there. KPAO on cable, streaming live, and now on Apple TV.
KPAO Community Television, handmade in Omaha since 2013.
Hi everyone, welcome back to the April episode of Community Action Now. I am your host, Bryn Schimmel. On the first half of the show, we had a couple of police therapy dogs here with us with their handlers. Because it is National Therapy Pet Month. And so we are talking about all things therapy pet. Now, there may be some of you that don't know that dogs are not the only animals that can be therapy pets. Today, on this second half of the show, we have with us Kaiti from Heartland Equine Therapeutic Riding Academy.
Got it.
So tell us just first, what is Hetra, and what do you guys do?
Yes, well, thank you for having me, first of all. I'm not nearly as cute or as puttable as Mo and Henry, but they were fun.
I did float the idea of bringing a therapy horse on set, but that was met with less excitement. Yes.
Yeah. Well, I'm Kaiti, and I'm an occupational therapist at Hetra. And what we do at Hetra is we provide therapeutic services to people of all ability levels and all ages, and we do that through the therapeutic use of horses. So our programming can be anything under the sun, really, with that intertwining use of the horse for therapy. So we offer therapy services, and those include PT, OT, and speech, as well as mental health services. And then we do adaptive riding, so we can do traditional riding lessons for people that have disabilities or some type of diagnoses. Okay. We do adaptive carriage driving, so if getting on the horse and sitting astride maybe isn't for you, or because of some physical limitations is not possible, we can do some carriage driving with our horses. Okay. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
As well as we do just regular public riding, so if you want to come out and just learn how to ride, anyone can come out and see us.
Awesome.
We also do quite a few different groups of equine assisted learning.
Okay.
So that type of programming looks more like doing groundwork with our horses, being around them, grooming, even things like doing chores or just being in the barn.
Sure.
And using that as an avenue to help grow physically, mentally, in lots of different ways through the use of our horses.
Very cool. How many horses do you guys have out there right now?
So right now our herd is fluctuating. It's around 28.
Okay.
We have a couple of horses that are in training, and then a lot of guys that are just in the arena working for us every day, and they love their jobs.
Do they have to go through specific training as well to become certified therapy horses?
Absolutely.
Okay.
It is a huge part of what we do at Hetra, and we take our safety and training of our horses very, very seriously. We have an entire horse team staff that's dedicated to doing just that. So they take care of our horses, make sure their nutrition and their exercise and all of the things that they need to be successful in their jobs, they can get. And so it's beneficial to have those people that are dedicated just to that, and we can ask them questions about our herd. They know the ins and outs and keep them in tip-top shape for their job.
Sure. So then the therapy team, did the therapists have to have, probably some interest in horses maybe, but do you guys have specific like equine training as well?
Yeah, so we have a little bit of everything. It runs a broad spectrum. So OT, PT, speech, and then mental health. So any practitioner who is licensed in any of those fields can do what we do.
Okay.
So we like to terminology-wise say that it's occupational therapy utilizing that equine movement or utilizing the equine to help us and reach our functional goals. So anybody who's licensed can do it.
Okay.
However, it does usually end up being people who have special interests in horses or grew up with horses like me.
Sure.
That get into this type of field.
Okay.
But at Hetra, we strongly believe that you don't have to have horse experience to come hang out with us, whether that's to work with us on a therapy team, to be an instructor. We have several PATH certified instructors on our team.
Okay. And what is PATH certified?
Yeah, so PATH is the Professional Association of Therapeutic Horsemanship International.
Okay.
And they're kind of a credentialing body for us, and what they do is they make sure that we're following a lot of safety standards. The manual's pretty thick.
Right.
We take safety pretty seriously.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
They help us kind of guide our safety standards and protocols. And then they also help certify our instructors. So we're sure that those people are very well versed in what they're doing and are very good at it. So it's kind of cool because we're the only PATH Premier accredited center in Nebraska.
Okay.
It's a pretty hard title to get, and we're really proud of it. So
that's
it's pretty
amazing.
Cool. Mm-hmm.
How did Hetra even come about? So I know the executive director, her name is Edie.
Yeah.
And how was this her kind of vision? Like, how did it even come to be?
Yeah, so it started in 1989.
Okay.
So quite a while ago, over 30 years ago. And the Henthorne family started it in Omaha with just one participant and a handful of volunteers and one horse.
Okay.
And it was just something that we believed in the mission that horses could help people.
Yeah.
And so when the Henthorne started it, that's kind of where it was. And now it's grown tremendously. We see almost 150 participants a week.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And obviously our herd's much larger, and our staff has grown as well. So.
Yeah, that's amazing. Mm-hmm. Tell me what exactly, so most people are probably pretty familiar with like occupational therapy, physical therapy, speech therapy. Mm-hmm. How do you utilize the horses in those kinds of sessions?
Yeah, so the cool thing about horses is that their pelvis actually mimics the human pelvis. So the way that they move and the way that they stride really mimics the way that we walk. And so because of that, our participants that are riding are utilizing a lot of those same muscle groups.
Right.
They're getting that balance and coordination as if they were walking.
Sure.
But the horse is doing that for them.
Okay.
So we have a lot of participants that may come to us that aren't taking steps on their own, or that is more difficult. And so putting them on the horse accelerates that process for them to use those muscle groups without having to think about walking.
Sure, and they can kind of feel the movement.
Yeah.
Okay.
It also has incredible benefits mental health wise, right? So,
right.
I mean, we just talked about therapy dogs, right?
Yep.
And how great they are. And horses are the same way. They meet us where we're at. They love us no matter who we are or what we look like or if we're in a wheelchair or not. And
right.
They just want to ride and be our partners and enjoy the time as much as we do. So they have an incredible way of helping us emotionally and cognitively as well.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Are there typically companies or like programs that you guys work with that if someone wanted to come utilize those services, do they have to be affiliated with like a specific kind of program, or can they just reach out to you guys? How exactly would that work if someone was interested in those services?
Absolutely. So you don't have to be affiliated with anybody or referred by anybody specifically. So in order to get enrolled in some of our programming, the first step is to come take a tour. So come out, see the barn, be around the horses, and see
where
what
is
it's
it
like.
generally located?
In Gretna.
In Gretna.
Yep.
Okay.
So
perfect.
we're right outside of Gretna there.
Okay.
So come out and go to a tour, see if it's for you.
Yeah.
A therapist or a staff member will do that tour so you can ask a lot of questions and get a feel for if it might be a good fit. And then the next kind of step is that we do an evaluation. So one of the members of the therapy team will take you through a few different tests, a few different things, and you do a little bit of writing that first day, just to kind of see what a good fit programming-wise you might be.
Okay.
Whether that's therapy services or adaptive writing or even EAL programming. So
And what does that stand for?
the equine assisted learning programming.
Equine assisted learning.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that said, we also have day programming as well. So we do some things called life skills.
Yeah.
And we do partner with other programs in the area. We've
Sure.
partnered with like Region 5 and Prime and some of those other places that we can provide small groups those services as well. So they
Okay.
come to us during the day. We also have programming for veterans. That's been a huge push for us this year, veterans and first responders. So we
Yeah.
do a lot of small group work with those types of folks as well.
Very cool.
As well as children in foster care, at-risk youth, and then some rejuvenating women groups as well.
Okay, very
Yeah.
cool. You guys have a big fundraiser coming up.
We do.
Tell me about that.
Yes, we have Blue Jeans and Dreams coming up.
Okay.
That's Saturday, April 23rd. And that is our huge fundraiser that goes towards participant sponsorship.
Okay.
So for us at Hetra, we don't turn anybody away for financial reason.
Okay.
So if somebody wants to come to us and utilize our services and they can benefit, we absolutely want them to come to the barn. So
Yeah.
it's those big fundraisers. We do them throughout the year, but that Blue Jeans and Dreams is the big one that we use to help fund that that sponsorship pot, if you will, so that we
Sure.
can continue to give services to those families in need.
Awesome. And what do you guys do? Is it at the
Yeah.
barn? Is it?
It is. It's
Okay.
so much fun. It's a lot of work.
Yeah,
but it's
I'm
fun.
sure, yeah.
We turn our big dirt floor arena into a gala space.
Love it.
So we do tables and chairs and a stage and all that, and we do a big dinner and an auction. We do live and silent auction as well.
Okay.
We do some entertainment, some dancing and music at the end.
Love it.
And it's just a really cool way to come out and learn about what Hetra does,
Yeah.
support our mission and our cause, and just get to be in the barn.
Absolutely.
It's pretty fun.
Yeah. I love that so much. If anyone is interested in learning more about Hetra, in getting involved, in being a part of the fundraiser coming up, we're going to show, again, all of their information on the screen. Social media and websites, we will put that all up there. But I would say otherwise, I mean, they can just reach out. It sounds like an awesome program. I didn't really know a lot about Hetra, so we loved having you here and learning about what you do.
And if anybody's interested, we are a organization, a nonprofit organization that really couldn't do what we do without our volunteers.
Absolutely.
And so if anybody's interested in learning more about what Hetra does, the volunteer process starts with a tour as well. So come out and just get to know us and come volunteer with us. We couldn't do the programming that we do. We couldn't help the people we help without the volunteers to help our participants, but our horses too.
Right.
And if you don't have any horse experience, and that's totally fine, come out and see us. Our volunteers start at age 12. So, you know, all those horse crazy kids that are out
Absolutely.
there.
Yes, yes.
Come on out. We'll teach you everything you need to know. You don't need to be a horse person to come hang out with us.
Awesome. That is awesome. Well, thank you guys for all that you do. As you said, you know, we always talk to you about how important our volunteers are and our supporters. We could not do any of the things that we do without all of you. So thank you for that. And as always, on behalf of NCAP, thank you for helping us keep people safe, fed, and housed. Make sure that you tune in next month. Thanks for coming, you guys.